Good day, everyone. I am Ferdinand Fernandez, and today our topic is all about the Industrial Revolution. So, one of the most significant development in human history is the Industrial Revolution. Imagine it's 1820. Let's say you live in England, probably work in agriculture, walking to town, either pulling your own cart, or if you're lucky, then you have your horse. You have to wash your clothes by hand, no electricity, cook over fire. So let's imagine way back 1820. So a different type of revolution transformed the way people worked. Industrial Revolution refers to the greatly increased output of machine-made goods. It began in England in the middle 1700s. Before the Industrial Revolution, people wove textile by hand. Then, machine began to do this and other jobs. Then soon, Industrial Revolution spreads from England to continental Europe and North America. Remember, Industrial Revolution begins in Britain. Small farms covered England's landscape. Wealthy landowners, however, began buying off the land that village farmers had once worked. These large landowners dramatically improved farming methods. These innovations amounted to an agricultural revolution. After buying up the land of village farmers, wealthy landowners enclosed their land with fences or hedges. The increase in their land holdings enabled them to cultivate larger fields. Within these larger fields called enclosure. Again, within these larger fields it's called enclosure. The enclosure movement had two important results. First, landowners tried new agricultural method. Second, large landowners forced small farmers to become tenant farmers or either to give up farming and move to cities. Jethro Tull, one of the first of these scientist farmers, discovers that usual way of sowing seeds by scattering across the ground was wasteful. So he solved this problem with an invention called the seed drill. It is about 1701. This invention allows farmers to sow seed in well-spaced rows at specific depth. Rotating crops is the process of crop rotation that is proved to be one of the best development by the scientific farmers. The process involved upon older methods of crop rotation such as medieval three-field system. One year, for example, a farmer might plant a field with wheat, which exhausted soil nutrients. The next year, he planted a new crop, such as turnips, to restore nutrients. This might be followed in turn by barley or clover. An English farmer planted his field in the early 1700s using a seed drill. Livestock breeders improved their methods in 1700s. For example, Robert Bakewell. He increased his mutton or sheep meat output by allowing only his best sheep to breed. Other farmers followed Bakewell's lead. As food supply increased and living conditions improved, England's population mushroomed. Industrialization is a process of developing machine production of goods that requires such resources. These natural resources includes water power and coal to fuel the machines, and iron ore to construct machines, tools, and buildings. And then the next one is rivers for inland transportation. And then the last one is harbors from which merchants ship to set sail. In addition to this, natural resources Britain had an expanding economy to support industrialization. Business people invested in the manufacture of new inventions. Britain's highly developed banking system also contributed to the country's industrialization. Britain's political stability gave the country a tremendous advantage over its neighbors. Though Britain took part in so many wars during the 1700s, none occurred in British soil. Their military successes gave them the British a positive attitude. Britain had all the factors of production, the resources needed to produce goods and services that the Industrial Revolution required. They included land, labor, and capital or wealth. Inventions for industrialization. In an explosion of creativity, inventions now revolutionize industry. Britain's textile industry clothed the world in wool, linen, and cotton. Inventions in America. In the United States, American inventors worked at making railroad travel more comfortable. Inventing adjustable upholstered seats, they also revolutionized agriculture, manufacturing, and communication. In 1831, Cyrus McCormick Reaper boosted American wheat production. In 1837, Samuel F.B. Morse, a New England painter, first sent electrical signals over a telegraph. In 1851, I.M. Singer improved the sewing machine by inventing a foot treadle. In 1876, a Scottish-born inventor, Alexander Graham Bell, patented the telephone. Around 1764, a textile worker named James Hargreaves invented a spinning wheel he named after his daughter. His spinning jenny allowed one spinner to work 8 threads at a time. And then, Richard Arkwright invented the water frame in 1769. This machine used the water power from rapid streams to drive spinning wheels. In 1779, Samuel Crompton combined features of the spinning wheels and the water frame to produce the spinning mule. In run by water power, Edmund Cartwright's power loom sped up weaving after its invention in 1787. So the water frame, the spinning mule, and the power loom were bulky and expensive machines. Wealthy textile merchants set up the machines in large buildings called factories. Improvements in transportation. Watt's steam engine. James Watt, a mathematical instrument maker in 1765, figured out a way to make the steam engine work faster and more efficiently while burning less fuel. In 1774, Watt joined with a businessman named Matthew Boulton. Boulton was an entrepreneur. He encouraged him to build better engines. Water transportation. Steam could also propel boats. An American inventor named Robert Fulton ordered a steam engine from Boulton and Watt. He built a steamboat called the Clermont, made its first successful trip in 1807. Road transportation. British roads improved, thanks largely to the effort of John MacAdam, a Scottish engineer. MacAdam equipped road beds with a layer of large stones for drainage. The railway age begins. Steam-driven machinery powered English factories in the late 1700s, and the steam-driven locomotives. In 1804, an English engineer named Richard Trevithick won a bet of several $1,000s. He did this by hauling 10 tons of iron over nearly 10 miles of track in a steam-driven locomotive. Liverpool-Manchester Railroad. The entrepreneurs of northern England wanted a railroad to connect the port of Liverpool with the inland city of Manchester. Railroads revolutionized life in Britain. The invention and perfection of the locomotive have at least four major effects. First, railroads spurred industrial growth by giving manufacturers a cheap way to transport materials and finished products. Second, the railroads boom created hundreds of thousands of new jobs for both railroads workers and miners. Third, the railroads boosted England's agriculture and fishing industries. And finally, making travel easier, railroads encouraged country people to take distant city jobs. The industrialization spreads. Great Britain's favorable geography and its financial systems, political stability, and natural resources sparked industrialization. Eventually, the Industrial Revolution that had begun in Britain spread both to the United States and the continental Europe.